You see the fire trucks, you hear the sirens, but do you know the chief? Today we sit down with Yarmouth's Fire Chief, Enrique Arrascue, to talk about his role, his team, and his passion behind the badge. Meet the chief next. Welcome, Chief, to the Your Yarmouth podcast.
Oh, thank you very much. Happy to be here.
I'm glad you're here. I know you're a busy guy, so we're going to get right into it today.
All right, I appreciate it.
Some people might not know that you started out in Yarmouth a long time ago as a firefighter and a paramedic.
I did. Actually, my first stint as a firefighter paramedic was in 2003. It was a big career change for me. I had gone to college for business administration. I had a whole career path planned to be an investment banker in New York City. Did that for a year or so. Moved to Boston when I met my wife. Tried doing some work in investment banks in that area and quickly learned that that's not where my heart was. So made a big change and ended up here in the town of Yarmouth. It was great.
So why the fire department?
I honestly pursued a lot. I was, it's funny. I say I didn't like sitting at a desk, and I sit a lot at a desk now. But I didn't like what I was doing. I didn't get anything out of it personally, and I started looking at different things. My medicine was in my background. My father's a doctor. My brother's a PA, and I just needed something that was a little more meaningful for me. And I started to work as an EMT up in the city, and quickly found the fire department and knew exactly where I wanted to be.
Why the Cape? Did you always have a passion to come to the Cape?
No, it was by chance. Yeah. Honestly, I was looking in the city, and it wasn't having any success at that point. It was during that time period. There was a lot of other opportunities for veterans, and because of the time frame, and it wasn't working out for me. So I started to look beyond that and incorporating the paramedic side as well, as we're unique compared to some areas of the state where we do both. We do fire and the emergency medical services.
And now you're the chief.
I'm here. Yeah, it's great.
Well, we're so happy that you're here, and we're so thankful for your service and everything that you do. How does the fire department deal with the winter? I know there might be some differences, what you have to deal with in the winter than the summer. Can you explain that?
Sure. It's really all about preparation. Not much changes for us as far as the calls we go on. I know there are some unique challenges with the colder weather. But it's kind of business as usual, but we have to be prepared to work regardless of what's going on outside.
What is your most unusual call that you get that residents might not know? Or not unusual,
right.
But your most regular call that you get?
Sure. So predominantly we're doing medical calls. We're doing a lot of, medical, whether it be, a regular medical chest pain, shortness of breath. We get a lot of falls. But we also do a lot of motor vehicle accidents. Yarmouth's unique in that we have a lot of major roads with Route 28. We also have the Mid-Cape Highway and also Route 6A. So we have a lot of movement in town, and especially with some changing traffic patterns that might be happening. Currently, people are all over the place, and so we do a lot of car accidents and a lot of medical calls.
And is it fair to say the demographic here in Yarmouth kind of skews older? So you're dealing with a lot of older
It does.
patients?
It certainly does. And obviously that changed a little bit over the last few years with some more long-term residents. But we do skew towards the older population, and we do also have a lot of. We have 4 or 5 major assisted living or elderly housing facilities in town, which also create a large demand on us.
Now, recently we had a tragic trench collapse, and your department was so instrumental, and your response time was amazing. How does your team prepare for something like that?
Sure. A lot of good things kind of fell together for us that day, but I will say I'm very proud of the work that we've been able to accomplish here. It's been a major priority of myself personally since I've been here to get ourselves ready for this. A lot of our department has gone through a lot of extensive training, whether it just be awareness of trench, and then we do have a lot of subject matter experts that have taken a lot of detailed classes and become experts in the field. And we do have 4 or 5 of our members who are part of the Barnstable County Technical Rescue Team, and they train monthly for these types of events. And luckily, obviously it was a tragic incident, but things went very well as far as a response for us that day.
And then how do you deal with the department after a tragic accident like that? How do you get their morale back?
Yeah.
How do you get them back on track?
Training is a great piece of that, to keep morale up and keep people focused on what we're here to do. But taking care of our people has become a very important thing for us. Traditionally in the fire service, it was not, a big part of the work we do, but now we're working really hard to make sure we're taking care of our people, making sure that they have all the resources they need, and making sure, just to check in, how you doing? Major events, we do what's called a debrief session with some. We have a county team with some specialists that offer resources to our people and just keep checking in on them as much as we can.
Do you do cold water drills? Obviously, we're surrounded by water, so
Sure.
that is an issue with ice and people and pets.
Exactly. No, we start early in the fall months. We start, checking all our equipment and making sure everything's ready to go. We do, for lack of a better term, some dry runs in the stations, making sure that we're good with our ropes and our equipment. And then a lot of it's just waiting for the weather to turn. And then as soon as we get an opportunity to get out, the best time to train is when that ice is real thin. And because that's when we expect to get these types of calls. When we have long stretches of very cold weather and the ice is thick and people are skating, we don't tend to get those issues. It's more when we have those fluctuations in temperature up and down, and then the ice becomes very unstable.
Anything you want to say to residents about dealing with the ice?
Sure. The biggest thing is no ice is safe. We can never determine whether, we can't come and, we do get calls and, hey, is the ice ready to go? Can we skate? We're not allowed to make that determination. It's because of the temperature fluctuations and because of the types of ponds and other waterways we have here where we have a lot of spring-fed areas, and those ponds are very unstable. So the best advice is to please stay off the ice and use our local rinks to do those types of activities.
To have your fun.
Yes.
And so in the summer, that switches because you've got water issues, but it's different. So how do you pivot?
Sure. And that's the big thing is again, preparation. We do a lot of training. We have a good group of people who are experts in our boating, in our marine responses, but we do also have some members that are part of our dive team and also participate in a Barnstable County regional team. So we have, any event like that is going to require an enormous amount of resources. Obviously, we saw that during the trench collapse, where we're gonna rely on our mutual aid partners. But we do a lot of preparation, a lot of pre-planning is what we like to call it, and looking at events and trying to forecast what kind of issues we might have.
Do you see more accidents in the winter than the summer? Or is it kind of the same?
I think it was the same. Obviously our population, grows a little bit in the summer, so we have more people on the roads. But we do, the accidents are busy. And as far as marine accidents, boating accidents, obviously we have more because there's more people on the water. But there's, like you said, we are surrounded by water, and there's a lot of commercial people or even recreational that are out on the water year round. So we have to be prepared to respond.
And so you have a good relationship with the Coast Guard.
We do. We're very lucky in the town of Yarmouth. The Department of Natural Resources that we have is extremely strong. They do a great job, and we work very well together.
What's one winter risk that you can think of that people might not be aware of, and how they can kind of protect themselves?
Sure. I mean, the biggest thing is heating in the winter.
Yeah.
People get cold, and they start to use extra forms of heat in their home, whether it be
space
heaters, wood stoves, even fireplaces.
Yeah.
And people, I think, take that risk a little for granted. There's a lot with it. Space heaters especially. We have to make sure that the biggest thing is they're plugged in directly to the wall and to the outlet, and not using an extension cord, because the demand that those have, that becomes very dangerous. Also keeping them away from any flammable materials. The same goes with fireplaces and wood stoves, and just making sure that heat isn't too close to anything that could cause a problem. And the biggest thing is never leaving anything unattended.
Yep. So for fireplaces, should they be inspected? How often should they be cleaned? Do you see a lot of fires happening with
Sure.
fireplaces?
Certainly, we get a lot of chimney fires, and again, this is probably from a lack of care. Once a year is what's recommended for an inspection and a cleaning, and the biggest part there is controlling that people are using clean fuels to burn, and burning the right type of wood, so that they don't get what's that buildup of creosote, which is what lines the inside of the chimneys and a lot of times causes problems.
So what is that? What is it? Dryer or?
It's the wood that you want to use. Yeah,
Yeah.
drier wood that's been
Okay.
seasoned. Yeah, you don't want to use other wood that hasn't been properly prepared to burn.
And I guess never close those doors at night and then go to bed.
Exactly. No, and we do. Unfortunately, people sometimes, especially when it starts to get cold in the fall season, we'll get calls for people who will light their fireplaces and forget to open the flue.
Yeah.
And the house starts filling up with smoke, and they don't understand what's going on, and it's just because of some education. That's all.
Yeah. Can people call you about smoke detectors? Like if they don't know
Absolutely.
how to install one or they don't know if theirs is working right, or can they call you?
Certainly. Yeah. They're obviously very common now. They're pretty easy to install, but if anybody needs any help or anything, they certainly can call us. We have what we like to call our Bureau of Community Risk Reduction, and our 2 fire prevention officers and our EMS officer work great with the community and providing education and any assistance that they might need.
Well, that's great to know because people
Certainly.
may not know that
Yeah.
and they think that they're bothering you, right?
No, please. That's what we're there for.
And then what about like child safety seats? If someone has a new baby, they don't know how to put the baby in the seat, can they come to you for that? Do you
Absolutely.
have little
Yeah,
workshops?
Yes.
Or?
We actually have we have 4 employees who are certified. It's a state certification. It's actually it's about a 36 or 40-hour class where they learn to install the seats correctly
Okay.
and give tips and advice. And yes, you can call us. We can schedule an appointment and we'll help you install the car seat.
I think sometimes people don't like to ask for help and they feel like they're bothering you.
Right. No, we're here for you guys. Anything the town might need. We get calls for a lot of things. I think a lot of people, they say when they don't know who to call, they call the fire department.
Yeah.
And we're here to help. Even if we can't solve the problem, we can come over and give you an idea or a suggestion of where to go next.
Well, speaking of babies, we recently did a story about a woman who gave birth in an ambulance in Yarmouth. She never even made it to the hospital. But that's not the most fascinating thing about the story. Can you elaborate for people who might not have heard?
Sure. It was certainly an interesting call. We got a call for back pain. The ambulance responded, started making an evaluation of the patient. She was complaining of very severe back pain. And had no idea that she was pregnant. And we found out very quickly that she indeed was, and they met the baby soonly thereafter. So.
Fire and Rescue recorded line. What is the location of the emergency?
I don't know. I'm having like wicked pelvic pain and back pain right now.
Okay.
I'm like,
All right. Take a deep breath. All right. Pelvic and back pain. All right. How old are you? How old are you?
I don't know, 40.
What's your name? Vanessa. What's the phone number? All right. Hold on one second. I'm going to get the ambulance going to you, okay?
So.
And you've had a chance to actually meet her.
Oh yeah, she's been great. She was great with the crew that was there. Insisted in coming in and meeting the crew and also introducing us to the baby. So it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was a fascinating story, and she was so grateful for your team. You guys did such a wonderful job.
Oh, thank you.
So I know that you are always looking for new recruits. So what do you say to a young person that really wants to get involved with the fire department?
Sure. Yes, we are. We're a growing department, and at the same time, we're an aging department. We have a large group of members that are been here 20 plus years. So we're trying to build that pool, so we're ready to go when we do have an opening. But the biggest thing is for us is a requirement is 19 years of age, and also your a valid mass driver's license and your EMT as a minimum. We are looking for paramedics as well. And we like to get those in-house because that's, like I stated earlier, a large part of what we do. But we're looking for good people who work hard and want to be part of a great team.
Do they have to be a paramedic first in order to be a firefighter?
In EMT, which is a little bit of a lower level, yes. So that is the basic requirement is you need to have your a Massachusetts EMT certification.
And then they go through a test, a physical test, or?
Sure. An onboarding process is obviously the interview process with us, and then there's a medical background, and then physical agility test that's handled at the state level, and then any new recruit that comes in, we do some onboarding, in-house training, and then they have to go to the Massachusetts Fire Academy, which is a 10-week recruit academy.
Okay. And what can they expect from, there might be some things that they don't know that's going to happen or that they're going to be responsible for.
Sure. I guess they expect to not expect anything
Right.
on a given day. You know, the job changes from day to day.
Need to pivot.
Yeah, you know, you have to be ready to go from one scenario to the next. You could be at a water rescue to a chest pain call to a building fire to a car accident. You know, all within a few hours of your day. So you got to be ready to go.
And how do they apply?
Online is the best place. We have our applications there. Start with that. You can turn that in via email, or you can bring it into the firehouse.
Well, we're so lucky that you made that career change, and we're really so blessed to have you here and appreciate everything that you do. Before I let you go, we want to have a little fun. We always ask our guest to answer some rapid fire questions, Cape style. So if you're game to play,
I'll give it a shot.
all right. First off, chowder, thick or thin?
Thick for sure.
Lobster roll, hot or cold?
Cold, no question.
Okay. You were very, no question. very, very specific.
Yeah, a warm lobster roll doesn't sound good to me. But, hey.
Favorite Yarmouth beach?
Parker's River Beach.
Okay.
Yeah.
And favorite event?
I would say the Seaside Festival, you know, maybe specifically the fireworks.
Yeah.
It's always a good time.
And fall or summer on the Cape?
I love the fall. Fall's a good time. You know, it's a beautiful place year round, but you get to kind of enjoy it a little more with a little less of the fanfare.
I think everybody who lives here full time usually says the fall.
Yeah, it's nice.
One question that I don't give other guests, but I'm going to give it to you is, what is the favorite meal at the firehouse?
Ooh.
I stumped you.
Sure. A lot of prime rib, especially on
All right.
holidays. You know, that's the big meal.
I'm not going to ask you who the best cook is, because that will open up a whole can of worms.
That'll get me in a lot of trouble.
That'll get you in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble either. And then finally, do you have a hidden talent?
Ooh. Skiing, snow and water skiing. I love being on skis. So,
Okay, that's surprising.
yeah, give that a shot.
All right. Well, thank you so much again for being here. We really appreciate it. I know the residents of this town really appreciate you being here and everything that you do for the community to keep us safe. And thank you for listening. Don't forget to follow us on our website, our YouTube channel, all our social media platforms, and you can find us anywhere you get your podcast. Thanks again, Yarmouth. Stay safe.